Give this to Nancy. Thank you.
We are live and the link has been posted.
Oh, good. How are you?
So, just for clarification before we start, we're wearing masks, is that the consensus? Oh, mine, just wanna know.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's still the
that everyone-
mandate.
Yeah, because we're within 6 feet, so.
But they switched it to 3
If we
now.
had food, we could be at a restaurant.
True.
So,
Why did they switch it to 3?
They did switch it to 3.
but we're within 3 feet. 7 PM work session meeting is now called to order. Can I get a roll call of the Township Committee?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Mr. Boonstra?
Here.
Mr. Madigan?
Here.
Mr. Melchiong?
Here.
Mr. Shanley?
Here.
Mayor Rubenstein?
Here.
Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103, issued by Governor Murphy on March 9, 2020, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the Township Committee of the Township of Wykoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens while ensuring the continued functioning of government, this meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wykoff, scheduled for 7 p.m. Tuesday, April 13th, 2021, at Wykoff Town Hall, 340 Franklin Avenue, Wykoff, New Jersey, 07481, will be live streamed via the Township of Wykoff's YouTube channel, and members of the public may call 201-891-7000, extension 222, should they wish to provide public comment during the public comment period. Members of the public may also email their public comments to wykoffclerk@wykoff-nj.com before 3 o'clock on the day of the meeting. These comments will be read at the meeting during the public comment period. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe the meeting via live streaming and to provide to the public the ability to comment before the meeting through written comments, as well as during the period for public comment, which appears on the agenda for the meeting. This notice and agenda have been posted on the front door of Town Hall facing Franklin Avenue and on the Township's homepage, wykoff-nj.com, at the quick link for minutes and agendas on Friday, April 9, 2021. Please select Township Committee and locate the date of the meeting to view documents such as resolutions and ordinances which would otherwise be made available. General instructions regarding access to the meeting will be posted on the Wykoff website's homepage at wykoff-nj.com as a news item on Friday, April 9th by 4 p.m. To view the Township Committee meeting via live stream, please access the YouTube link, which will be posted on the Wykoff website's homepage at wykoff-nj.com as a news item immediately prior to the commencement of the meeting at approximately 6:55 p.m. on April 13th, 2021. To be notified of all future live stream Township meetings, please create a YouTube account and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Township of Wykoff. In the event the YouTube platform modifies its connectivity protocols and does not announce these critical changes again in the future, instructions on how to view each meeting via Zoom technology will be posted at the news section of the Township's homepage, wykoff-nj.com, before 7:10 p.m. This second method is provided to ensure the continuity of government on platforms which the Township does not control, establish unannounced changes, and will only be utilized if it is not possible to conduct the meeting via live stream on YouTube. As a precaution for this Plan B, the following instructions are provided. Please locate the link posted on the news item announcing the Township Committee meeting on the homepage of our website, and use this link for the April 13th, 2021 meeting set to begin at 7 p.m. This regular work session meeting of the Wykoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk, as well as the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald and News, all newspapers having a general circulation throughout the Township of Wykoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers. The agenda with the resolutions and ordinances to be considered was posted on the Township's website at Minutes and Agendas on the Friday prior to this meeting.
Thank you, Nancy. Can I confirm that the Finance Committee has reviewed and signed the vouchers?
Yes.
Thank you. And any written public comments received?
No.
Okay. Can I get a motion to open 10-minute public comment period, 2 minutes per speaker for public comments on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the Township of Wykoff?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Mayor Rubenstein?
Yes. Please call 201-8917.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
You can have to be in charge of the phone. I cannot reach you.
Can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Please call 201-8917-1000, extension 222 if you wish to make a comment.
Do you have to do anything?
Green phone if it rings.
It's a big responsibility.
No, I could do it.
You nervous?
I would be. Could have been a contender.
Tom, do you want to do it? We'll switch off.
No one's gonna even
You can do
call.
it next meeting.
We'll switch off. You could do it at 8 o'clock. Hearing no one, can I get a motion to close the public comment period?
Motion to close.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Mayor Rubenstein?
Yes. Bob, can I get a review of the APM business agenda?
Yes, I do have a number of comments to make, but first I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Shanley. He is the chair of the Township Committee Subcommittee regarding utilities, and I believe he is proposing the addition of a resolution to the agenda tonight, which is on your desk.
Correct. It's on the, on each of your areas on the dais. Resolution 21-188. It's a resolution in support of funding to build necessary water treatment and distribution networks to remove PFAS from our drinking water. It's to assist Ridgewood Water in getting grants from the state and from the federal government so that our ratepayers and residents of the Township of Wykoff who pay the rates of Ridgewood Water don't get burdened with extra, costs to remove the PFAS, which is in the waters, which has to be removed because the new DEP and I believe the EPA standards require it. So they had suggested, they gave us a sample resolution, which I went through, and then I tailored it for us. So if you can read it before the 8 o'clock meeting, and let me know if you have any problems with it, but I try to make it tailored toward Wykoff. So,
Could I make a suggestion?
sure.
If we pass this evening, could we ensure that we share it with our fellow townships and
Yes.
governing bodies of the other towns, so they all
And our elected
know?
officials in Congress and in the state Senate, the state Assembly, I would agree.
Thank you.
Now might be a good time to mention that I've spoken with committee people and mayors from some of those surrounding towns who have their own water utilities, and the kind of issue of the PFAS has changed everything with their water utilities.
And Melissa-
several are looking to sell their water utilities because they're talking about having liability in the millions of dollars
It's
to
extremely
clean up
expensive.
PFAS.
Right.
And as many issues as we've had with Ridgewood Water and other people have had with big water utilities, there is a cost saving in having a larger company take on the project
Right.
rather than individual town utilities. So it's just what I've found in talking to people.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I do. If that's acceptable, Nancy, would you add it to the agenda?
I will.
I have
Thank
a
you.
couple comments I can make on the agenda. The agenda is as was posted last Friday with the attached resolutions and ordinances. I do want to point out that Resolution 175 accepts an open space grant to improve the Memorial Field campus. Ordinance 1931, which is on the agenda for introduction, appropriates those grant funds. Resolution 180 authorizes a grant application. That's the next round of open space grant funding, and that will be to complete the walking trail at the Russell Farms Community Park. We do have Resolution 181, which the governing body authorizes a grant application for the police officer body-worn cameras. And we do have a closed session tonight requested by the township attorney regarding pending litigation. That's what I wanted to update regarding the agenda tonight.
Okay, great. PAIs?
Yeah, I just have a couple of things I'd like to mention. Following up on the Bergen County Open Space Park Improvement Grant, we've scheduled a public hearing for May 4th. That's in that's the second next public meeting, and the grant application is due after that. I did want to give everyone an update that yesterday, even with the rain, the Mountain Avenue road closure began and the repair of the underground drainage pipe started. And a full day was worked, even though it rained, and today the weather was easier and they were able to make pretty good progress. I also want to point out that there is a new JIF cybersecurity upgrade project, and we are working on that so that we can get the most favorable treatment from the insurance consortium. The budget adoption is scheduled for the next meeting, April 16th. The annual,
April 27th.
27.
sorry, I misspoke, April 27th. Thank you for correcting me. The annual spring curbside leaf collection had began yesterday for the second townwide round of collections, and they are finishing up District 1 today. We did have a notice from the railroad company that they will be rehabbing the railroad tracks. I spoke to them yesterday because they didn't have a start date on it. They told me it's definitely not starting in 2021. It'll be 2022 or 2023. So we'll end up keeping an eye on that. We also had a notification from the New Jersey Department of Transportation that they plan on replacing the culvert under Route 208, which is between, it's just past Cedar Hill and before Russell Avenue. New Jersey DOT is in the process of applying for the required permits from the New Jersey DEP. They have not provided a time frame, but I expect that will be in 2022 as well. Continue to keep an eye on that. Both of these notifications have been posted on our website. Nancy has created a link called Notices Required by Applicants or Entities Seeking Approval from the State of New Jersey. So their actual application is posted on our website to make it easier for anyone who may be interested in reading it. I also wanted to point out that our first quarter safety committee meeting minutes were in the packet. I wanted to point that out. And we did receive a letter from a resident making suggestions for a revision of the noise ordinance. I did some research into that. That noise ordinance has some older language. It uses terms like steam shovel, which aren't necessarily used today. I was wondering, did you want me to pursue that? The resident said he did some analysis but did not provide it. I don't know what your thinking is on that.
I think you gave an appropriate response to the resident, and that's enough.
Although, to be honest with you, there's a couple of small things that wouldn't hurt you to revisit and update it. I know I get many complaints on landscapers, builders on weekends. It's a Saturday because they can't do it on Sunday. So, I don't know. Might be worth taking a peek at it.
It all comes down to decibel levels. I mean, it's all preempted by the state guidelines with decibel levels.
Well, the one on the weekend, I mean, I think the residents pointed out that maybe 8 o'clock on a weekend, on a Saturday is better than
Times,
7.
yeah.
But, it's something to look at.
Okay, that's, I believe that's all I have.
Thank you. Report to the Township Committee. Pete, do you want to start?
Sure. All right, we, over the last few weeks, the mayor and myself have been monitoring the senior hotline, and there was probably about 40 or so seniors that did call in and leave a message, and they were passed on to our volunteers in town who were helping them with registrations and vaccine appointments. The Board of Health met, and our Bergen County health reps were at the meeting. The Shade Tree Commission just met, and for anticipation of Arbor Day, which is April 30th, they were able to, I believe, transplant about 10 or so trees from the tree farm, and members of the Shade Tree Commission did volunteer their time to help that get done. And lastly, I just want to report on the military tribute banner program that is moving along. They are steadily coming in. The deadline is April 30th. If anyone is planning on submitting a military tribute banner to honor one of their family members, and all you have to be is a resident of Wyckoff, but the person who served in the military does not. They could, live out of town. There's a little confusion on that, but if you are planning on doing it, try to get it in right away. I know the company is a little overwhelmed right now with the anticipation of Memorial Day coming up, so if anyone's planning on it, just to get that in as soon as possible. Tom's got an update on the Memorial Day Parade, and that's all I have right now.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, Memorial Day Parade Committee met a week ago. We'll be meeting again tomorrow night, so Pete and I are going to be going again to that meeting. Just to remind everybody, there's a lot of excitement because we're going to have the parade. It'll be the 31st of May, starting at 10:30 with a memorial service at the Reformed Church area, honoring the deceased members in town that gave their life and service to the country. The parade's route is a little different this year. It's a little shorter, a little more to facilitate the situation. But they're going to be starting just before the Reformed Church, going all the way down Wyckoff Ave. They're going to take a right on Clinton Ave, and then an immediate right onto Everett. And then they'll march up Everett, which is a very wide street, perfect for pedestrians on both sides, spread out. And then they'll be disassembling at Washington School parking lot, as well as the Reformed Church parking lot. So that'll help with spreading people out at the end of the parade. So we'll be getting more information on that. And just one comment on the banners, and I commented last night at the 3 fire stations I was at, that I was able to get my order in. Fortunately, my sisters found a nice photograph of my grandfather, and I got that in, and I'm proud to get that displayed and put up. My grandfather was kind of unique. He was just old enough to get into World War I, and just young enough to be in World War II. So he was in both World War I and World War II. We had a nice picture of him. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and I think it's going to be really nice. My order's in, the picture's in, and thanks to Pete, and I know he's working with Denise, and a lot of the residents are pretty excited about it. It'll be really nice. They're going to be displayed again at the decorative lampposts throughout town. We're limited to 100, the first 100 to get in. Like everybody else, you're going to wait till the last minute, but there'll be more to follow on that. It's going to be a nice tribute to whether someone served in World War I, II, Korea, Iraq, Vietnam, they're a friend, they're in the military now. It's just kind of saluting all those that served on our behalf. K to 8, nothing to report. Their next meeting is not until the end of the month, April 26th. As fire commissioner, I was at all 3 fire companies last night, and this was a very nice occasion, a lot of smiles, because it's the first time our firefighters, the guys and gals, were able to get together live for their monthly meetings at the fire station. So I had the opportunity of going to Company 1, then going to Company 2, and then heading over to Company 3. And they were all very well attended. So it was a good group at 1, 2, and 3, and made sure we thanked them for their service. Remind everybody to stay safe, not only from COVID and distancing, and be smart, but stay safe anytime that they're on the rig. That's my report.
Tim?
Yeah, just a quick update. The rec board met last night, and they reported that recreational baseball will start this Saturday. So the boys and I believe the girls for softball are also starting. The lacrosse day is scheduled for May 15th over at Pullis. Apparently they're going to have food trucks at it too, but they're encouraging the teams that are coming in for lacrosse day to please leave as soon as possible and not linger around, because they don't want to have it be too much of a crowd with COVID. So they're going to try to move the teams along, but it's lacrosse day will be on May 15th.
Tim, are we throwing out the first pitch this weekend?
Right now, I think it's just, I don't know that there's games.
Oh, it's
It's
just
practice,
practices?
I believe. So I don't know that there's a game. So there could be games. Some of the games may have already
If you
started.
can, just grab a date from Andy.
Yeah, I'll
that
grab a date from Andy
He
to
wants the
see.
township committee to come, because we always do a little
Right.
ceremony.
So we'll find, it wasn't reported at the rec board last night. Summer camp registrations are underway. There's going to be a cap of 125 per week. Soccer, football, cheerleading registration is going to begin in the next day or so. Football appears to be slated to start on time. They'll be practicing around August 9th. And there was a report on the rec soccer that they did with towns like Oakland, Franklin Lakes, Upper Saddle River, and Allendale. They're going to continue what they did next fall, what they did this fall, rather than joining the league again, because they've somewhat formed their own league without technically being a league. And it seems like all the rec directors from all those towns kind of enjoyed the way it was. So they're going to try to do it again the same way, because it was determined to be a success. So why don't you try to use it? If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So that was the report of the meeting last night with the rec board. And I just want to, state, I want to give my condolences to Bill Evans, the Capitol Police officer who was killed. I saw they did a ceremony today for that officer who died serving his country, serving as a Capitol Police officer when he was unfortunately killed by somebody who tried to attack the Capitol. So it was nice to see that our country gave him a send-off, a proper send-off for his service to his country. And that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to thank Bob, Nancy, I guess Joe Salerno, staff, and Mayor Rubenstein for arranging for all of us to be seated at the dais tonight. It's been a year or more, and I think it's great that we're back up here. I also want to thank the parade committee for seeing to it that we are, in fact, having a Memorial Day parade this year. I think that's also very important, and I thank them very much. On tonight's consent agenda, we have 2 resolutions that I would like to just make note of. They are the 2 street naming resolutions. The first one is the renaming of Maple Drive, which is off of Cedar Hill Ave, and leads into the Maple Lake property. We're renaming that for former Mayor Henry McNamara, who incidentally was also a state senator. It's entirely appropriate because Hank was, he championed environmental preservation. He was the chair of the Senate Environmental Committee for many, many years. So I think it's great that we do that tonight. I'm going to mention one small thing about each one of these folks who have served our township and to a certain degree our state and nation. Hank McNamara's first career, believe it or not, was as a school teacher. So he had a commitment to children and education before he got into selling Fords and politics, which is an interesting career path. The other street naming is for Dana Hannon. We're renaming High Street for Dana Hannon, who was a young volunteer member of Fire Company 1, went on to the New York City Fire Department, and of course lost his life on 9/11, rescuing people from in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. So it's entirely appropriate that we do that. He has served our community and his city and the nation to a larger effect. But Dana Hannon also began his career as a Bridgeport, Connecticut firefighter, a career firefighter there, and he, interestingly enough, was highly decorated in the short time he was there. And when he went to New York City Fire Department, he started from the ground. He went to the academy at Randall's Island and started out as a probationary firefighter in New York City. So two great individuals, and I'm happy that, and I thank the Township Committee for its support. And I thank Bob and his staff for getting this all done so we can do this tonight, especially too that this is for Dana Hannon, this is the 20th anniversary of the World Trade Center attack in September. Okay, moving on. As Bob mentioned, the Wyckoff Education Commission is, Wyckoff Environmental Commission is having a composting event at Russell Farms Park on the 17th. It's important that we promote composting. We have a free composter, which someone is going to win. And I've been saying since we've started this that this is roughly a pint. A pint's a pound. We have over 4,000 homes in Wyckoff. If every home each week would put this much material in a composter, be it potato skins or leftover food or doggy bag take-home that didn't get consumed, that's 4,000 pounds. That's over 2 tons of solid waste a week that we could actually save for just this much from each home. So we also then, as Bob mentioned, we're having the Shredfest on the 23rd, along with a styrofoam collection and a drug take back. It is at Community Park, not the DPW yard on West Main Street. And on the 24th, we have the team up to tidy up here at Town Hall. Planning Board meets tomorrow night. There's a fence application on for completeness in public hearing. There's also a soil movement permit on for completion in public hearing. But also the Kale application on Manhattan Ave is coming back after 1 year. It's back with a reapplication, so we'll see how that goes. And finally, the Historic Preservation Commission is meeting again tonight after a little hiatus, and I unfortunately cannot attend. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. Our police department has been really aggressive in applying for a reimbursable grant because on the 30th of last month, the Attorney General announced that this grant is available because we need to have body-worn cameras on all of our police officers. We not only need to have body-worn cameras, but we need to, the bigger issue is that we need to store all the data from the body-worn cameras. And the state has not announced grants yet for the storage and the servers to store all of the video from the cameras, sorry. So we've applied, they did it really quickly, put it together. Joe Soto really did a great job with that. And So we're trying to move forward with getting a reimbursable grant on that. We've applied for cameras for all of our officers. We also have not been notified by the state of how many cameras we'd be eligible for. So it's kind of a wait and see at this point. Sort of another unfunded mandate given to us by the state. The Junior Police Academy is going to take place in person again in July, the 5th through the 9th, I believe. And Township Committee is invited to come speak, come meet the individual youths who are taking part in that. So I'm excited to see that come to fruition again. Also, we have a resolution calling for April to be named Alcohol Awareness Month. Just a couple of things. Alcohol is estimated to cause 10,511 alcohol impaired driving deaths in 2018. 4,300 deaths among people under the age of 21. 88,000 deaths in the United States. 1 in 10 deaths among working age adults aged 20 to 64. So a lot of the news has shifted towards marijuana and the recent legislation on that, but there still needs to be education, especially for our young people, about alcohol as well. And I think that's all I have. Rob, do you have anything?
I've got some stuff for closed session, so that'll wait. I think, I don't think there's a reason to hold up on the resolution for the question on the ballot in November for the Open Space Trust Fund. If you want to extend it for 5 years to put the question on the ballot. I think we've got to get that done by it's either June or July, so I don't want to wait on it.
Do we have the language?
Yeah, it's
for the
done.
ball?
It's done, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, there's no, I don't see any reason to wait on it.
No,
Maybe
there's
we
no
can do
reason
that
to
in
wait.
May. I'll get it in front of you.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
The Maple Lake subdivision got a letter back from the county. They wanted some more detail on plans with respect to the entrance off of Cedar Hill, which is probably good anyways to iron some of that out because we don't want it to become an issue later. And I think that resolution's up for the planning board tomorrow, so I reviewed it today. There's a little tweak in the language I think that has to be made, but I'm gonna talk to
Okay.
Mr. Hanley tomorrow and hopefully clear that up.
Okay, that should be fine.
I think, other than the closed session, I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Okay, great. Then if we have nothing else, we're gonna recess the open work session because we are going into closed session, after our business session. So can I get a motion to recess that?
Motion to recess.
Second,
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Mayor Rubenstein?
Yes.
Good.